Welcome to the 8th visionary pictogram in this series. This pictogram is a visual representation of a time matrix of life. If we understand the building blocks of time, we also understand how to unbind time. We unbind time by aligning ourselves with the resolving impulses of this matrix. Let's examine the elements of a pictogram. We have a house of 3 vertical pillars and 3 horizontal pillars. This house is overshadowed by a higher trinity, represented as a nativity scene. Please note that this trinity is over the house. In other words, it is not in manifest form. In the middle column, scenes depicting the birth of Christ are shown. At the bottom of the pictogram, we have an hourglass, and we see the divine emanations flowing into this instrument. Within the hourglass, we have an image of a mountain and a lake, representing creation. While painting, I was told that the transformation of the line energies into those of a phoenix happen in accordance with divine timing. In this pictogram, the line represents the forces of chaos and destruction, and the phoenix the higher capacities that birth through death by fire. To understand this image, we have to understand that there are trinities within trinities. The number 3 expresses structural perfection. We are in essence a reflection of the higher trinity of Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Lower correspondences of this are our personality, soul, and spirit, and our ability to think, feel, and act. I was shown that our being exists beyond time, the top trinity, in consciousness time, and in manifest time. In other words, there are 3 aspects of time to be considered. As the higher emanations, which hold the higher blueprint of life, infuse our creation, they bond with the substance of lower creation and manifest 9 time-space zones. The vertical axis represents the higher consciousness time in capital letters, and the horizontal represents manifest time in small letters. This is the time matrix underpinning our psyche and all manifest form. Before proceeding, let's take a closer look at the differences between consciousness time and manifest time, as this is the manifest duality of the apex. The apex itself is impossible to describe, as it is devoid of characteristics associated with the human spectrum of life. Consciousness time refers to the cycles of our inner evolution and spans many lifetimes. It is a measure of our inner states of being that is in alignment with the universal cycles of consciousness transformation. We are dealing with a scale that spans millennia and unfolds in accordance with the cyclic and rhythmic movements of a universal mind. It also corresponds with the present or now time of inner states of being. Manifest time is a linear construct that is being used to navigate changes in the natural cycles of this world. When talking about manifest time, I'm referring to seconds, minutes, hours, months, years, and millennia. It is cyclic in accordance to earthly seasons and cycles of change. It spans human lifetimes and is in essence a linear projection from the past into the future. Manifest time corresponds with form, objective reality, and sequences of events. The higher force inherently propels towards inclusiveness and unification, and the lower is a contracting force that inherently works towards identification and separation. Through the interaction of these 2 opposing forces, the time matrix forms. Every one of the 9 time spaces represents a double bonded element, and as a linear polarity, each square represents an imbalanced state of being. Without the structural balance of 3 points interacting as a connected unity, this matrix is fundamentally conflicted and unstable. To maintain a double-bonded consciousness structure requires energy, which can deplete our life force, keeping us trapped in chaos. I was shown that the Trinity principle needs to birth at every level of creation. This is the archetypal impulse of a time matrix, and it manifests as 2 forces, a horizontal and a vertical one. When we align ourselves with these forces, we no longer oppose the natural laws of creation, which always work towards reconciling the matrix. The horizontal force is one of balance, connecting time spaces within the same consciousness plane. The second force is a vertical integrator force that connects different consciousness planes and brings them into alignment. When all horizontal and vertical spaces are conscious and connected, they lose their magnetic influence and allow everything to smoothly flow through the central pillar of the present. The key to understand is that to function in this world, we always have to be conscious of all aspects of time. Our higher consciousness intent still needs to be acted on and focused to come to fruition, and we need to remain aware that the three aspects of time are one continuum. Within everybody, there are many states of psycho-emotional times, childhood times, and projected selves that we need to reconnect with in order to resolve the matrix. If we consider the profile of a person whose awareness mostly resides in the double-bonded space of the present, future, such a person is present, capital, but they are using these capacities to manifest a childhood or projected future that they identify with. This attachment means that their true future, capital letters, is not unfolding as it should, and they are left feeling dissatisfied and out of balance. Another example might be a person operating from the linear polarity of future-past. Such a person is putting a lot of effort into trying to manifest their future, capital letters, but they are being held back by unresolved issues in the past. There might be an unresolved relationship issue that needs to be addressed, or they might simply lack confidence as a result of past experiences to fully commit to their project. Each of the 9 double-bonded consciousness states will unfold into a multitude of different scenarios and motivations for action. When all 9 come into alignment through the central column, we are stepping into the presence, where the tension between opposing forces has been reconciled. This is where magic happens. Have a closer look at the central column. It is the place where past present, present present, and future present meet. When these 3 cells become a continuous whole, we have the person who is present to all that is unfolding in life and understands that all is an expression of their essence. The outcomes of actions without attachments that are in alignment with our true nature tend to be sustainable, congruent, and transformative and energizing, unlike the depleting effect of the unstable double-bonded time aspects. As soon as we link through the central column, the 3 levels start to work as a continuous whole, and this will signal that the next development phase in our evolution can begin. As a framework, the time matrix always remains, albeit different consciousness forces emanate the matrix depending on what archetypal evolutionary transition a person is going through. This will be expanded on in the pictograms that follow. Before proceeding, I want to re-emphasize the importance of understanding that all dual bonding processes, even those that might be deemed as admirable by society, will create imbalances. Without the third point, then continuity and alignment of consciousness is lost, and we manifest a dissonant harmonic in accordance with the lower rather than the higher cycles of time. The transformation of the line energy of chaos and destruction into those of the phoenix happens in accordance with divine timing. In other words, our thoughts, feelings, and actions have to come into resonance with the rhythmic and intelligence of the cycles of a universal mind, which cannot be measured by the number of years, but by states of being. This is the context and purpose of every incarnation. Every lifetime is important. There is a vast difference in the scale of human and divine timing, so this can sometimes be difficult to hold. What appears as a millennia in one is no more than a day in the other. We must learn to unbind time. Matter would be fluid if it was not for the static of time. The crystallization of molecules would no longer be as they are. The modern concept of time is a megalithic historical linear construct, and we have to accept both the megalithic construct as well as for instantaneous cosmic properties that will take you where you are going if you are ready to go. If you are fluent with time, you become fluent with space. I once had the opportunity to visit a beautiful cave with many stalagmites and stalactites. As I observed a falling drop of water, I was told that our consciousness grows no faster than this process. This helped me reflect on how long it has taken humanity to leave the caves and to evolve into our own current unbalanced social structure. Aspects of the structure are not yet connected nor balanced. Only children would pollute the waters they drink from, poison the air that they are dependent upon, and go into battle to resolve land disputes. These are not yet the actions one might associate with adulthood, wisdom, or an advanced society. As a humanity, our schoolhouse is wedged between the earth and the sky. Our creative abilities are still contained, so that we may learn to create through balance and wisdom, in alignment with a universal blueprint and in accordance with principles of divine timing. I am still a novice apprentice in the schoolhouse of life. All that I offer you here is a roadmap of a fellow explorer and not an end map of gospel. My knowledge is no means total or final. Please always question and discern. Thank you for sharing this pictogram with me. I hope you have enjoyed this conversation. To subscribe to this video channel, press the red subscribe button below or visit my website www.visualtouch.co.nz. Thank you.